I'm Paul Casertano with the Pima Association of Governments. I'm the Transportation Safety and Operations Planner with PAG, and we are the Metropolitan Planning Organization for the Tucson region. In the region, we've made concerted efforts to really bridge the gap between transportation and the transportation planning process and emergency services and enforcement officers as well. Traditionally in the past, there's been kind of a disconnect between those two groups, but we've made concerted efforts. We've held incident management forums so that we could sit down with both the transportation folks as well as emergency services folks and enforcement folks and talk about the issues that affect both of these types of groups. So we've really done much more in recent years to incorporate input from enforcement, get them involved in the process, understand what their needs are, and inject that into transportation planning as well as implementation of transportation projects. Many of the solutions that we see for safety issues out in the field are no longer just engineering issues that can be solved with engineering fixes. There needs to be a combination of engineering and enforcement, education of the public. So what we've done is we've really tried to reach out to enforcement to incorporate them into the process from the beginning so that they can understand the common goals that we both share, and we can combine our efforts to go after improvements in safety. Pima Association of Governments is an association of governments for all local agencies, including the state of Arizona for Eastern Pima County. We are a metropolitan planning organization, and we're mandated by federal law to exist. We have obligations for transportation planning as well as air quality and water quality and some social services functions that we perform as well. Safety is an element that we are required by federal law to incorporate into our planning process, both the long-range planning process as well as short-range special projects and programming of transportation dollars. We have had great involvement creating a regional table for the local jurisdictions that are all really after the same types of things and find that we can get great cooperation and great accomplishments when those groups are working together. Our members include City of Tucson, Pima County, Town of Oro Valley, Town of Marana, City of South Tucson, Town of Sahuarita, Pasco-Yaqui Tribe, the Tohono O'odham Nation, and the Arizona Department of Transportation for transportation matters as well. And we really work with these main member agencies to do transportation planning and implementation activities. We also involve other stakeholders, whether it be particular agencies within those jurisdictions, whether it be DOT agencies in those jurisdictions or law enforcement or emergency service. We incorporate groups like the University of Arizona. Certainly the public is a group that we are obligated and constantly trying to garner input into our planning process. What we're really after there is making sure that what we think some of these solutions should be are actually the solutions that the public is desiring as well. So we create that cooperative process among the local jurisdictions in the Tucson region to incorporate safety into the planning process, make sure that it's adequately represented and permeates all functions and all layers of transportation planning, programming, implementation, and operations. I'm not sure that poor planning is something that contributes to increased accidents and more perilous safety conditions out there necessarily, but what I would offer is that we could be planning smarter. We could be planning smarter in terms of transportation, in terms of land use, and some of the safety issues that incorporate transportation and land use and really connect those two together. We could do a smarter job in really reaching out beyond the typical and traditional transportation planning arena to other stakeholders, incorporating enforcement, incorporating education type activities, because we're coming to a point where we are beyond being able to solve a lot of these issues with new transportation facilities. We need to do a better and smarter job of managing what we have. We need to get the right stakeholders involved so that we can really identify the safety issues and what's driving those safety issues, and go after solutions, whether they be education-oriented, enforcement-oriented, engineering, emergency service, or a combination of all those. We really need to look at what's the best solution to this particular issue and incorporate that into the planning process. See to it that we can allocate dollars for these types of programs, get the right stakeholders involved, and go after it and get it done. Pima Association of Governments fosters an open planning process where we seek and look for, go after, incorporate public participation in all of our elemental planning. We do outreach activities in the form of open houses. All of our meetings and committee meetings are open to the public for participation and attendance. I've seen vast changes to particular plans, projects, and the like based on public input. So the public really does have a lot of sway in determining what the appropriate projects and programs for safety as well as typical transportation are. So a couple ways for the public to get in touch with us and get involved in our process would be they could certainly call our offices, ask for more information in terms of what particular areas of interest they have, and they can reach us at 520-792-1093. That's the main office for PAG. They can also visit our website, find some more information about what it is we do, some of the programs, some of the committees that we oversee, how we foster the transportation planning process and administer that process, and that they can get information from at pagnet.org. That's pagnet.org. Our website has information on a variety of our different programs, from rail planning, freight planning, transportation operations, transportation safety in general, our 5-year programming process to allocate dollars for transportation projects over a 5-year period, our longer range transportation planning process, which has typically a 20-year horizon for transportation projects to be done in the region. So there's a variety of different things in addition to some other areas of interest, which include air quality issues, environmental issues, alternate fuel usage in clean cities, and some social service programs as well. From a planning perspective, I'm really very encouraged by what we're seeing throughout the state of Arizona. There's more of a consciousness of the importance of safety in the transportation planning process. We've participated recently in developing a strategic highway safety plan for the state of Arizona. We've worked with a variety of different groups, from AAA and MAD to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, local jurisdictions, other metropolitan planning organizations, to really set the priorities for helping improve safety conditions in the state. One of those challenges with getting that accomplished is the educational process for the public. I recently saw a survey that was done by the AAA Foundation that queried people on how many fatalities occur from traffic accidents in the nation on a yearly basis. And it was the overwhelming result of that survey was that really people don't have any idea. There was a range of answers from over 100,000 to under 10,000. And I believe the percent of answers that were within 10 points of the appropriate answer or range of answers, which was 40 to 50,000 people per year, the number's closer to 43,000, was only like 6%. So it's obvious that the public really doesn't understand the magnitude of this issue. This is really a public health hazard, and it has not been deemed as such. And really the increased awareness and recognition of how many people we are killing on our roadways each year is going to be the first great step to helping get that number reduced.